I wonder. Well, that's something new. Around feet of the beast happened to step on some soap. He suddenly turned to its side like it was drunk. Daddy jumped ahead just in time and the beast missed him. Lucky! The beast had run into the rails not too far ahead and finally stopped on the grass. Soon a human walked out of the beast. He seemed to be okay and just started yelling while checking his beast's round feet. Look at the beast. His body had some words on it, but I couldn't read. I had seen a sign next to it before. I used to go hunting birds with Daddy in a place far, far away. It was deep inside the mountains. On top of the hill there was a building that smells like drugs. Daddy told me that it was a hospital and had the same design as the one on the beast. I remember thinking that this hospital looked a little strange. The humans inside didn't look hurt at all to me, but none of them would smile. Some of them would burst into laughter and tears all of a sudden. They all looked a little strange, not like the humans we met in the city. Humans were so strange. So that's another S. So that's all of... Yeah, that's all of Spotty's endings. Okay. So... slipped in the water. And... hit something in the street. Assumedly that's not soap. Why would there be soap in the street? How do we arrange this? Assuming this is the trigger for... So... There's nothing with all four of these. Nope. Nope. Are you just gonna play with these now just to... Oh, okay, there we go. Finally. I grabbed Lieutenant Kang and tried to pull him up, but I slipped and fell too. We had to go back to the hot tub and take another bath to clean ourselves. The water was still very warm, but I was already used to the temperature after the first time. Lieutenant Kang wrapped his towel around his neck again. He didn't close his eyes this time, though. He just seemed to be staring blankly ahead. It's only the two of us in the spa room. It was so quiet again. Nothing else was in the air except for the steam from the water and the awkwardness. Maybe it was my imagination, but Lieutenant King almost looked like a normal, accessible person for a while. I was almost going to ask him something. Eventually I decided to let it go. It was already after work. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Oh, that was more frustrating than I expected. But hey, we got gold stars. Okay, who's next?
Carlos, te extraño.
Alicia!
부처님, 나도 좀 도와줘요.
You again. Well, I guess we'll follow up with you then. See how you went after your, I had been assigned here for a week. In the past few days, I had been trying to find an opportunity to write my transfer application and submit it to Lieutenant Kang. Yet every time when I sat down and tried to fill out the form, Lieutenant Kang would throw a bunch of paperwork at me and make me file them. He secretly likes you. It's almost like he knew what I was up to, or that. None of this made any sense at all. If he knows what you're up to, then he's doing that to keep you around, which contradicts his other attitude that he doesn't need more people on his team, so something about you that he actually likes. As a police officer, shouldn't I be patrolling the city to stop crimes and helping people with everything I had? Even be ready to sacrifice myself for justice at a moment's notice? This was so boring. Thank God I could still sometimes chat with Officer Min Jun, a more serious officer in Unit 4. we would have exploded out of boredom by now. Usually at this point, Min-jun would say, "I'll lend you a grenade then." Min-jun liked making these kinds of morbid firearm jokes, although I rarely found them funny. Life sucked. I poured myself another glass and chugged it. It was at a bar called Crash, where I'd always come whenever I was feeling down. Every day after midnight, the bar would turn into a carnival. But around sunset, the atmosphere here was actually really nice. It was the best time to come here and drink alone. I was sitting by the window and staring at the street blankly. Some words from the conversation at the next table suddenly caught my attention. Oh, a bald man in a Hawaiian shirt raised his bottle and said, "Bro, have you heard what happened to Group Gang Moon a few days ago?" His buddy was wearing a pair of beach shorts and sporting the most ridiculous hairstyle and laughed. "Of course! Been heard all over the Grove, you son. That was really brutal for them to blow off half the head of Choi Yohan's son. Only Kang Bakya had the balls to do that." My ears perked up when I heard Lieutenant Kang's name out of the blue like that. The bald man continued. "I think it was pretty rad. That bastard was always so fucking annoying. He would come to our turf all the time, looking for trouble, just because of his good old daddy." The crazy-haired guy interrupted him. "Shut the fuck up, you idiot. Don't let anyone hear you say that. You're gonna get Boss Jew in trouble." The bald man immediately concurred. "Oh, sure. By the way, I've also heard that Choi Yohan is setting up a trap for Kang Bakya. It is gonna be epic. Ha ha. Oh." The crazy-haired guy sounded surprised. "Hey, watch it. Don't get so close to me." "Wait, what do you mean by setting up a trap?" Bald man explained. "I heard that they had something on Kang Bakya. They used it to force him to turn himself over. You can guess what they're gonna do to him next. Think it's supposed to be going down tonight, over at the warehouses by the port." The crazy-haired guy didn't seem like he was buying it. "Really? You think that would work?" Kang was tough enough to take out a whole team on his own. The bald man got excited. "We'll find out. Apparently they've prepared barrels and concrete. I've heard something about some other big surprise. Anyway, no matter which side loses, our boss Jew will be happy either way. But he's been looking forward to this day for a long time." I sobered up completely. I quickly checked my cell phone. It was 9 p.m. Now that I thought about it, Lieutenant Kang had gotten a delivery earlier today, and I had left the office soon afterwards. Did the delivery have anything to do with the trap? I know I didn't quite get along with Lieutenant Kang. No matter what, he was on the side of justice. Now that I knew he was in danger, there was no way I could just sit aside and let it happen. I sneaked into the bathroom and immediately called the lieutenant. Nobody picked up. Then called the police station. Someone told me that nobody from Unit 4 was available. I'm Unit I had a really bad feeling. I didn't get in touch with the lieutenant as soon as possible. The door opened and a person walked out. My reaction had been slowed down because of the alcohol. Oh, the young man who had just come out of the stall grabbed me by my hair and slammed me into the mirror above the sinks. Clink. The mirror was smashed, and there was broken glass all over the ground. Just before I passed out, I heard someone say, "You dirty cop. You trying to snitch on our own turf? Screw you!" When I woke up, I found myself lying in a big empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars through the windows high above the wall. Oh man, how long had I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Chang Young-min. Well, now the mood is swinging back down low. And now we get to hear from Alicia. Hong Kong was a strange city. It was quite small, but it felt like such a big city. When last we heard from Alicia, she escaped from her captors. While it was busy and rich, there were also many poor people, including numerous homeless people wandering the streets. I had hoped to go to America, but I ended up being kidnapped and brought to Hong Kong. I didn't have any money on me. I didn't know if I could even survive here, not to mention go to America. I began to look at the hiring flyers on the walls. Teamsters, engineers, masseurs. A lot of places were hiring, but I didn't know how to do any of those jobs. One day, I saw that there was a nightclub looking for a pub singer. The club was called Melody Hall. It sat in the middle of the most popular location on Portland Street in Bangkok. The club was huge, and the guests were all dressed like royalty. Everyone that came to audition for the job was sitting in the lobby, waiting for their turn. Several middle-aged men were sitting below the stage, looking terribly bored. I chose to sing one of my favorite songs when it was my turn. It was a folk song from my hometown. It's called Little Lamb Billy. After my parents had passed away, my brother and I were soon sent to the orphanage. For a long time afterwards, Carlos seemed to have shut down entirely. He could sit there for an entire day without saying a single word. He was only 3. There was nothing near the orphanage but hills and mountains. I liked to take him hiking, and would talk to him on top of the mountain, or sing to him. We would stay there for a whole day sometimes. However, he still wasn't talking. One day when I was singing, I suddenly thought to myself, was this going to last forever? Would Carlos never ever talk to me again? I had to stop the song. I couldn't stop myself from thinking depressing thoughts. I cried. Why are you crying, Alicia? Carlos was pulling on my arm, and I saw him looking at me with those clear eyes. That day he had finally returned to me. The song I had been singing that day was Little Lamb Billy. I stood in front of the elevator. I was thinking about that song that I had just sang, and the days when we had lived in the orphanage. I couldn't help but hum the song again. I felt a sudden tap on my shoulder. It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Miss, there is something that you should know. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It's quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you who has no papers. You won't be able to find another job in all of Hong Kong. However, I think you are really terrific. I would love to hire you, as long as you... Oh. As he was speaking, his hand was moving further down my shoulder, from my shoulder along my back. It kept moving down even further. I was taken aback and tried to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. Oh. I had never been in a situation like this in my entire life. I was horrified. I tried to shake him off with all my strength. I scratched his face with my nails, leaving a red mark. He held his face with his hand as I was running away. You ungrateful little bit! You people! Oh, grab her! Oh. Jesus! I ran into a small alley and hid behind a dumpster. For what seemed to be an eternity, I could no longer hear the people who were running after me. I fell to the ground. I felt violated and ashamed. Tears were rushing out of my eyes, as if all my suffering had come back to haunt me. Carlos, I miss you so much. Alicia. Oh. Feels bad. Oh. What? That's it? Alright. Curious to see how many endings these have. I checked the time again. It was already 9:30. It wasn't safe to go straight to the port, so I didn't know how many people the enemy had. I hadn't received my weapon yet. This was only my first week. It wouldn't be terribly useful for me personally, but it would still be better than nothing. I should at least go back to the station and check out a gun. Perhaps I could even find some backup. I hoped I could make it in time. I left the bar. A cold breeze blew over my face. I shuddered and felt myself sobering up a bit more. I hailed a cab. I kept urging the driver to speed up. In the end, it took me 30 minutes to arrive rather than the usual 60. Oh! As soon as I opened the door, I threw up all over the ground. The old driver looked at me emotionlessly and handed me the bill and a napkin. I just ran through 3 red lights for you. I'll give you a discount for being a police officer. Okay. Miss, there is something you said that you should know. One of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier tapped my shoulder. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It's quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you who has no papers. You won't be able to find another job in all of Hong Kong. However, I think you are really terrific. I would love to hire you as long as you... face with his hand. You... Hey! That was embarrassing. Someone who had just got out of the elevator stood in front of me. A pair of red high heels, a pair of tight black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. If it weren't for the voice, no one would have guessed that it was a man wearing them if they saw them from behind. Oh. For the manager of Melody Hall to dare do something like this in public? What would your big boss say if he heard about this? Fine. Just not my lucky day then. Manager shot me a stern look, turned around and walked back into the lobby. The cross-dressing man turned to me, smiling wildly. Hello, pretty little girl. Would you like to go get a drink at my place? Okay. I'll take it. So that seems remarkably... I know we just got the best endings here, but... I feel like this could only end badly. For our intrepid police officer. Oh, someone unusually tall had just walked out of the elevator wearing an even more unusual ensemble. A pair of red high heels, a pair of tight black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. Couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. I walked past this person into the elevator and pressed the button for the first floor. The person kept walking into the lobby. Oh. I turned around. It was Officer Min Jun. Thank God you're here, sir. Min Jun seemed shocked after I told him about what I had just heard outside. He said the lieutenant might still be at his own place. It wasn't too far from here. We should hurry over and see if we could catch him in time. With Min Jun leading the way, we were running as fast as we could toward Lieutenant Kang's home. Then we came across a small, dark alley without any lights. Min Jun seemed to be out of breath, and he slowed down. He pointed at the two-story apartment building not too far in front of us and told me that it was the lieutenant's building. I decided to keep going ahead. Before I could run more than a few steps, I suddenly felt a sharp pain on the back of my head. I felt dizzy and lost my balance. I couldn't even see the road anymore. I fell to the ground and blacked out. When I woke up, it was almost daylight. Officer Min Jun was lying next to me. Neither of us seemed to have our wallets. Oh man, how could this happen? Was Lieutenant Kang already? If only we had an energetic, high school student to, whack some tennis balls at those muggers. A few days later, I came back to Melody Hall. They had put a list of the people who had been hired up at the entrance. My name wasn't on it. I hadn't eaten anything in 2 days. My stomach didn't even have the energy to rumble anymore. I dragged my drained body with me, wandering along the Hong Kong streets like a ghost and kept looking for a job. My action had been slowed down because of the alcohol. The young man who had just come out of the stall snatched my phone out of my hand. I was about to take it back when I felt my hair get pulled from behind, along with something sharp and cold on my neck. Don't move. Don't make any sounds. Otherwise, you know the deal. The voice sounded extremely familiar, but I couldn't place it. They blindfolded me, and I felt myself being led outside the bar. I felt myself being thrown into a vehicle, and I passed out as soon as I smelled something strange. When I woke up, I found myself lying in a big, empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars through the windows high above the wall. Oh man, how long had I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? So there's one bad ending. Okay, I guess there's more bad endings here. Oh, that's a new ending. Turned around. It was Officer Min Jun. Thank God you're here. I could finish my sentence. The young man who had just come out of the stall had snuck up behind me, grabbed me by my hair and slammed me into the mirror above the sinks. Clank. The mirror was smashed and there was broken glass all over the ground. Before I passed out, I heard someone saying, "You dirty cop, are you trying to snitch on our own turf? Screw you!" I could still see Officer Min Jun out of the corner of my eye. He was standing in the bathroom next to me, and he's just stared at me without any expression on his face. Oh, he's dirty! When I woke up, I found myself lying in a big empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars through the windows high above the wall. Officer Min Jun wasn't here with me. Why hadn't he helped me? I reached in my pocket, hoping to check the time on my phone, but it wasn't on me. It had probably been taken away by someone. Damn it. Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Bad. There is another bad ending. Oh. Last ending. Of course, we're going to go back and make the S endings canon. It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Miss, there's something that you should know. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. Really terrific. I'd love to hire you as long as you... fucking sleazeball. Oh no. He was speaking, his hand moved further, moving down from my shoulder along my back, and it kept moving down even further. I looked at the lobby, but I could no longer see the person who had just come out of the elevator. I regret my decisions. Okay, that was S. Okay. Deep breath. You ask me how deeply I love you. What on earth are you doing? I'm singing. Huh? I didn't know you sing. What is the name of the song? The moon represents my heart. How does she still know this song? I thought I had... Will? What are you mumbling about? I mean, of course, this song. Everyone in China knows this song. Huh? Why are you suddenly in the mood to sing? When I read Alicia's story about her singing, all of a sudden a lot of music just popped into my head out of nowhere. I was thinking... Maybe I was a singer before I died? Before you died? I've heard stories of how some people become gods when they die with unfulfilled wishes. Must be why I know these songs, right? Aren't those usually ghost stories, not god stories? Although if that had been the case, wouldn't my power have had something to do with singing? What do you mean? For example, what if my singing has healing powers? Maybe my song can bring peace to people at war. How imaginative. We've been alive for a long time. There's nothing strange about us knowing some songs. Y'all just supposed to know everything. If it weren't for your memory loss, I'm sure you would remember even more. Well, that makes sense. I guess I was never a singer. Now I feel sad. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted to be a singer so much. Look, I made you some osmanthus cake. Whoa! Nothing's more powerful than sweets. Enjoy the cake. Remember to do your work after you finish your snack. I'll see you later. Oh, wait! I haven't heard you sing yet. Before you go, sing me something. Oh, I will not. You're my servant. You can't say no to my request. No, no, no. As your servant, my duty is to supervise your work. And saying no to you is one of my rights. Well then, what if I serve you some tea? I made the tea. How about I wash your feet? I just washed them myself. Well, would you like me to comb your hair? What would you like to hear? Name it. Your face looks almost twisted. Well, let me think. Oh boy. Sweet as honey. These are all songs of Teresa Tang. Why wouldn't you pick something more exciting, more hardcore? Do you want some death metal? To be fair, you've liked her music ever since you were little. What? Since I was little? Oh no, I mean you have always liked her music. Anyway, I happen to know this one. Listen up, I'm going to sing now. As sweet as honey, your smile is as sweet as honey. Just like how the flowers bloom in the spring breeze. Your smile is so familiar to me, but I can't remember from where. Oh, it's from my dreams. What do you think? What? I've been curious. Why is it that the only sound we make when we talk is a single beep? Even the tone is always the same. Even when we were singing, it was nothing more than some rhythmic beeping. It's just too self-aware. I can't take it. You're only now noticing that? But we are gods, after all, not humans. We have our own unique qualities. We should focus on them. Speaking of which, how's work been recently? Oh, it's been going pretty well. My only complaint is that there are so many letters. I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters to finish them. You don't have to work that hard. We're not on the same timeline as the humans. It doesn't really matter when we handle their letters. The most important thing about being a god is to enjoy yourself. Just ask Zeus. He enjoyed the hell out of himself. That's okay. I am enjoying myself. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. It feels so great to be able to help people. I'm really happy. Okay then, as long as you're happy. Oh, by the way, haven't we forgotten about something important? What important thing? Comb. Ah! There are new letters here. I need to start working. Oh, comb your doggo. Myth. I knew it. Comb your doggo. He's a good doggo. He does give me a lot of sass, but a noble stray cat from Korea. Meow. Meow.
부처님, 나도 좀 도와줘요.
Let's see, where are we? McDonald's Spicy Burger. The other personality. Minjun, excellent with sniper rifles. Dirty cop.
하느님, 저를 용서해 주소서.
Robbed.
为什么？
这都是我的错。
It's been a while since we've had some leeway here. Jimmy.
하나님, 나를 도와주세요.
This poor child.
Porque siempre me pasa esto.
Oh wow, developing lots of relationships. Alicia.
Carlos, te extraño.
Oh, that's right, we do have Alicia's portrait now. Because now that we've rejoined her timeline proper, where she has survived. Okay, who do we got?
有没有搞错？
Oh god.
젠장. 어떻게 이럴 수가?
Oh god.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
Oh god. Oh, these are all separate. Wait. Oh boy. Let's follow up with Alicia. There was a quiet street in Hong Kong. There was a quieter alley on that quiet street. At the end of the alley, there was a coffee shop with a sign in the shape of a maple leaf. Inside the shop sat its owner, who had a peculiar taste in clothes, at least in the opinion of many. I still vividly remembered the first time I had met him. He was wearing a pair of red high heels, a pair of skin-tight black leather pants, and a lavish, fluffy fur coat. He'd always told us to call him Mama. He still identified as a man, but preferred dressing as a woman. We all make our choices, and he understood more than most that being different need not lead to loneliness. Indeed, Mama had saved my life. Not only had he saved me when I was being harassed by a pervert, he even let me work in his coffee shop. He paid me 3,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. Wasn't much in Hong Kong, but I got to live in the coffee shop, so that I could save up most of my salary and send it back to my brother back in Mexico. Okay. I hoped we could help pay for school. There are a few other misfits like me, whom Mama had taken under his wing. Heng, who could never tell ketchup apart from jalapeno sauce. Raja, who couldn't help singing whenever he picked up a goblet. Jack, who would always wipe the table twice. We all had different colored skin. We didn't speak each other's languages, but we'd all been learning from each other as well. We'd often talk to each other in English, Cantonese, Mandarin, and Spanish all at once. Miraculous that we usually managed to understand each other pretty well. We always had a great time together. We shared the same bedroom, with 2 bunk beds. Jack slept on my top bunk, and Hong and Raja slept on the other one. Jack was only 15. He had curly blonde hair and a pair of clear blue eyes. Carlos was a few years younger than him. When he had been in the orphanage, he and I slept in a bunk bed like this too. That was why I liked to stare at the top bunk before I fell asleep. Imagine that it was the 15-year-old Carlos sleeping up there. However, the peaceful days do not last for too long. Only Jack and I were in the shop that day. Oh no. He had just taken the trash out the back door. Moments later, I heard the muffled sound of fighting and yelling in the back. Oh no! I ran out of the back door and saw a couple of tall, strong men pinning Jack to the ground, tying his hands and feet behind his back. Jack's lips were bleeding and he seemed to be unconscious. Oh, Jesus! I wanted to run back upstairs and find Raja. I knew he was sleeping in the bedroom. Before I could, someone had caught me from behind. Oh, Jesus! Then my face was covered with a foul-smelling piece of wet cloth. When I woke up, it was already deep into the night. Jack and I were locked inside what could seem to be a small warehouse. Jack woke up at almost the same time as me. We both looked out the window, and we could see the blinking neon lights of a busy Melody Hall. What? If I remembered correctly, there was an auction house opposite Melody Hall. Mama used to tell us that the auction house on the street was not really legitimate. Legendary paintings that had gone missing. Rare ore that had been illegally smuggled in. And people, apparently. The frozen sperm of dead movie stars. Ancient mummies of an undetermined age. Panda bears. That's a cute picture of a panda bear. Even exotic-looking young boys and girls. Yep, there it is. Oh dear. As long as there was a buyer, there was nothing they wouldn't sell. We couldn't stay here. I had been through this once. This time I felt calm. I had to get myself out of here, and I would take Jack with me too. There was only one guard in the hallway. I slammed on the door to get him to come over. I told him that Jack had stopped breathing. He didn't think too much of it. Perhaps he thought we were just a couple of kids. So I opened the door and crouched down next to Jack, who was playing dead. When he reached out to feel Jack's breath, I pulled the gun out of his waistband and pushed it against the back of his head. Then we gagged his mouth, tied his hands and feet behind him, and locked him inside the room before we stalked downstairs. We didn't run into anybody on our way down to the reception desk. Just when I was about to celebrate our good fortune, someone yelled at us from behind. I turned around and saw a sleepy man who was holding a mug. He rubbed his eyes and slammed the mug onto the reception desk when he saw our faces. The alarm went off. I grabbed Jack's hand and we started running toward the port as fast as we could. 4, maybe 5 guys came after us from the auction house. There were lots of warehouses and small roads near the port that made up a complex maze. We had to play cat and mouse with our chasers before we could find a secure hiding place. At the southwest corner of the port there was a recycling center. The center had a fenced-in lot that had piles of garbage in it. Only a couple of overtime workers were operating the crane. They would lift a dumpster high up and then dump everything into the lot. There were many extra large dumpsters outside the lot. Jack and I had split up earlier, and I had waved at Jack from a distance to come over. The dumpster was empty. "Stop hiding. We saw you." "I'm over here!" I tried to draw attention to myself. They opened the cover of the dumpster. I walked out from the cargo container not too far behind them. I tried to distract them. However, they had already opened the dumpster cover and seen Jack hiding inside. They didn't tie us up to avoid attracting too much attention. Instead, they surrounded us and marched us toward the auction house. If we didn't follow their orders, the guns in their waistbands would make us regret it. I fell into a deep despair. Jack must have been so frightened, too. I looked at him. For a moment, I thought I must have been mistaken. I thought I had just caught him smiling. We were close enough to see the auction house when one of the guards' phones rang. Everyone was temporarily distracted by the phone, including me. But a gunshot interrupted the ringing. A guard had already fallen down. A bullet had just gone through his head. Jack had just shot him with a smile on his face. Jesus, Jack! He had somehow taken a gun from one of the guards, then turned around and shot the second guard right in his chest. Didn't waste any of the bullets. It was almost like magic. Soon all 5 guards were lying on the ground. Jack looked at me with a casual expression on his face. "Alicia, let's get out of here." I was still in shock at what had just happened. Before I could say okay, I heard another gunshot from farther away, and a splashing sound nearby. Jack dropped to his knees and then slowly collapsed. Oh, shit! Bright red liquid was oozing out from a small hole in the middle of his forehead. The young man with the mug was standing behind us at a distance. Ah, that fucker! Only this time he was carrying a gun instead of a mug. He started walking slowly toward us. I held my hands to my head and dropped to the ground, sobbing. Heavenly Father, why on earth would you let this happen to us? What have we done wrong? Alicia. Holy, this girl can't catch a break. Okay, so we need to successfully hide. Here you are. Get out if you want to live. 5 guns were pointed at our heads. Oh, that's bad. We had no choice but to climb out of the dumpster and follow them back to the auction house. What was going to happen to us? Oh, that's bad. Okay, dumpster is empty. Draw attention. Oh, that's already bad. Okay, if we draw attention to ourselves before... Nope. Okay, there's only 4 endings. So let's see. Dumpster is empty. Stop hiding. I'm over here. Okay, that's literally... Nope. Okay, open the cover of the dumpster. The dumpster was empty. Okay, that's new. Successful hiding. I walked out from behind the cargo container not far away and tried to distract them. However, they had already opened the dumpster cover. There's no one inside! You fool! Go get the girl! They tied me up again and went back to look for Jack for a long time. They couldn't find him anywhere, though. In the end, they decided to just take me back first. On the way, I saw a shadow from the corner of my eye. I looked up. A huge dumpster had been lifted up and emptied onto the lot of the recycling center. I also noticed a small body rolled out together with the garbage. None of the guards were aware of it, and never realized that the person that they had been looking for was right under their noses. Jack had always reminded me of my brother, but often changed my shift to the same ones as him. Unlike Carlos, Jack never talked too much. However, I would still try to chat with him. After a while, we started to talk more and more with each other, although he rarely mentioned anything about himself. Once I accidentally saw a horrifying burn scar on his back when he was changing. He must have a story that he didn't want to talk or think about. Another time I had asked him what he would like to become when he was older. He pondered for a while and said, a policeman, maybe a doctor. The look on his face was almost like he had been looking at an ocean full of blossoming flowers. He had been enchanted by the hypnotizing scent of the flowers. The warm summer breeze was kissing his exquisite blonde hair, and the glowing sunlight was shining inside his sky blue eyes. He almost looked like an angel to me at that moment. I knew he was not just saying that. He had a lot of books. When he wasn't working, he would always be reading in the bedroom. Even when he was on a shift, he would sit behind the bar and read when there were not too many customers. Spend all of his earnings on books. But I didn't think one could be a policeman or a doctor through only self-learning. Still, I believe that Jack, my little angel, would be able to do it. Because I believe that if he did his best, his dream would come true. Oh. So that's how that ends? That's some odd spacing there. Well, more letters.
是不是我做错了什么？
Liwen!
Dios, ¿qué debería hacer?
Carlos! Oh, is Carlos gonna meet Mama? Carlos is gonna meet Mama. I got a feeling there. So, we got a special op. We got fucking Jimmy. Carlos and Liwen. Oh boy. Oh, we're at 40 minutes. What should we do? Let's drop an even save. We're about to have a lot of stuff going on here. At 19, oh jeez. This poor girl. God, she deserves better. Oh man. So we've got that was a loaded part. That's I loaded 2 videos, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to deal with this guy. Then we need to deal with a more serious turn here. Poor Spotty, who's connected to this poor child. Jesus Christ. Protect him. Protect him. Protect this poor cat. Protect this poor child. Protect her little brother. Jimmy exists. I'll even protect him. He's been through some shit. You're trying, young Meaton. Okay, protect Li Wen. She's cool. I like her. Protect this fella. Oh, that was emotionally tiring. So I've dropped a save. I think I'm gonna end off here. When we return, we have 2 sets of stories to come back to. I'm not sure how they're going to go, based on how the mood has swung back and forth just in these last 2 videos. So until next time, until then.